two.
Eh,
Yes. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Sarah, thank you so much. And you are my local snake charmer. And so I figured if we're going to go to Marrakesh and be in Medina and see the snake charmers, I probably should learn a little bit more about snakes. Makes sense, huh?
Came to the right woman.
You actually went to the safari in Kenya. How was that? Did you enjoy the
Oh yeah,
experience?
that was amazing. There was surprisingly little snakes, but it was other than that it was really cool.
What's your favorite memory?
Holding the geckos, there were these house geckos, which is a type of lizard that were crawling all over the walls, and me and my sister managed to wrangle one down and handle one.
Nice. So actually have about what, five snakes at your house?
Six.
Is it six? Sarah, I can't even imagine. But I wanted to thank you today because you are so passionate about snakes and all animals, as a matter of fact. But I was hoping that you could share a little bit more information about your snakes and the experience you have with them and some fun facts because I think I'm not the only one out there who don't have a lot of dealings with snakes. So it's good to know some more information from you.
All right.
Who is this?
This one is that's Amber. She is a variable cat-eyed snake.
Okay.
She's probably, I'd say, one of the most elusive. Um, she's the smallest, and I'd say she's going to live to be about 10, 20 years old. They are not very researched, I find. I have not been able to find anything on cat-eyed snakes for care, so I had to wing it. And the breeder we got her from helped me out a bit. But she's our only venomous snake, but she's very mild. I've been bit by her. It's not painful at all. She's very friendly, very shy, and she climbs a lot.
Okay. And is she native to
I don't know
where?
where they're from. I think Africa and probably America in Florida somewhere. Just given that they're arboreal, and she only comes out around night, so she's probably nocturnal in the wild.
Okay.
Not now, Kinsey.
And so that one is Amber. Oh, this is the big one.
Oh, he's
Is this
actually
the one you
tiny.
brought to our house?
No, he's the tiny one.
Oh, okay.
He, he's our baby ball python.
Okay.
He's a
Hello.
certain come here. He's a certain morph of python, ivory ball python. Very expensive. Took cost an arm and a leg to get you, didn't it? Very friendly, big foodie. Oh my god.
What do they eat?
They eat frozen thawed mice and rats. They prefer something called a African soft fur, which is a type of rodent. And she's tiny, so she's stuck on pinkies right now. But Haviter here, we have, what did it say, 4 ball pythons, and ball pythons are the most tame snakes you can get. The wild ones, even the wild ones, are pretty chill. They don't seem to care. Oh, sorry,
He
Tangle.
seems so comfortable with you. Is it because you work with them and he knows you, or would he come to anyone?
He's friendly with anyone. Ball pythons are they're very commonly domesticated. They're just like dogs and cats, and he's the which number of snake is he? I think he's the third one, fourth
The
one.
third one that you've purchased and
Yeah.
brought home?
So he's one of the newer ones, and they're just very friendly. As long as you raise them and respect them, they will be perfectly fine with you. Now I gotta get Tango over with. Being she's being grumpy. Come here, Tango. Come
And
here,
this is
Tango.
the third. Oh, how long? How long will they full size,
Well,
Sarah?
the male ball pythons get about 5 feet, and the females can get 8, 7 to 8. Yeah. And our most aggressive one, the little grumpus Tangle.
When you say he gets aggressive, what do you mean?
Well, She does not like me to pick her up with my bare hands. It's just something that's one thing with snakes is that sometimes you have to make a like it's a relationship. So some things you need to set boundaries with, and she prefers for me to pick her up with a metal snake hook and put her on a pillowcase before I bring her out with my hands. So that's just something that we've found to understand. She hisses. She used to bite frequently, but we've tamed her down. Oh, and she rattles her tail. It's just to make herself look bigger and to mimic a more venomous snakes common to her area in America,
Okay.
which is known for having rattlesnakes, I believe. She's completely non-venomous and she's going to get massive. She's going to be about, what did you say? 8 to 10 feet. Yeah.
8 to 10 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about reproducing?
Uh, they don't mate for life, but they take care of their young. Very good care. Some snakes give live birth. I don't have any live birth snakes, but the ones that we do have, if I ever end up breeding snakes, is going to be the ball pythons, and they wrap around their eggs gently and keep them warm, and will defend them with their life if it has to. And they raise like 10 to 15 clutchwise, I believe. Not all of them make it, but there's safety in numbers.
Interesting.
All right, Kitty. Come here. And this is our small, like
That's the
second
smallest one that
smallest
you
one.
have, yes?
Oh yeah, itty bitty tiny little guy. This is a baby corn snake.
Okay.
They're the second most common in the pet trade. He's very friendly. He's just when he gets tired of me holding him, he will poop on me. That's his way of telling me.
Okay.
Isn't it?
How long have you had him?
How long have we had him? 4 6 months.
Oh, it's a new addition to the
Yeah.
family. Hmm.
He was they it takes a year before you can sell a snake. So since he's been raised around humans, so he's pretty chill around all of them. He has not learned the difference between mice and a finger if it's anyone other than me. He's kind of learned that I will poke him away if he tries to bite me. It's not out of aggression, it's just because he's constantly hungry.
You mentioned something that a snake will puff itself up if it's curious or it feels a little bit threatened or defensive. Do you experience that with your snakes or no?
Only with Tangle. The ball pythons kind of puff themselves up when they're nervous,
Okay.
but it's only when you're touching them around their head that they kind of puff up. They mostly just pull their head away from you. They're just like, no, no.
No, not
And
having
this,
it today.
some of them, like this one, will just continuously try to climb away from you no matter what you do.
Okay.
He doesn't. Some of them settle, like the ball pythons, they settle, but this no, Spaghetti will not.
Is that his name? Is that what
Yeah,
you call him? Is that his pet name, Spaghetti?
Spaghetti is his name. Yes.
Nice. I love the color though. From over here, I can watch him and say, I love the color of him.
Oh yeah, he's a special morph too. I believe he's a hypo. Um, they're bred for specific colors in the pet trade. I think he they live at unfortunately a less amount of time, 8 to 10 years, in my
Okay.
experience. But some of them snakes are weird. Sometimes they just die really early on, and sometimes they live well into their 20s.
And did you get most of your snakes from the pets? Oh my goodness.
Don't
Oh my
worry.
goodness. Oh my, and
Yeah.
Mummy has a snake necklace.
Oh yeah. Hello.
Who's this?
This is Lewis.
Hello.
He's the one that came over to your house.
Yes, my spouse was able to embrace him, but I could not.
He But we get most of our snakes from pet stores. There's a reptile and aquarium store near us called Big Al's, and we also get some of our snakes from a breeder
Okay.
who takes very good care of them. And we get all of our stuff from them. But Lewis here is the most friendly, and I've had him for I think a good 6 years, I think. So just as many snakes as we have. He's a ball python. They're gonna live into 30s. They live for a
Okay.
long time. He's gonna be a life friend. He's in shed. He's just finished shedding his skin. I don't know if I can get that on camera. No, I can't.
So
But
how often does he shed, or do the python shed?
well, babies shed more often, so sometimes every 5 weeks, and some the adults when they're done growing, he's done growing. He's a male, so he's a little bit smaller than our female maple, but they get. I think they shed every. He sheds every 2 months
Okay.
because he's done growing, but some of them shed more frequently. Sorry, Tangle.
I can't believe how comfortable you are, and how comfortable he is with you, eh?
Well, they're just dogs, really. They just legless puppies. He's the most responsive to commands too. You can actually train snakes if you try hard enough. They're just trouble.
How do
Yes.
you train them?
Just calm, positive like rewards. Like I won't like you can flick them. They're very durable. You can flick them to tell them off. Like no. And for positive enforcement, they just can sense you're happy. Like they're like dogs. They can sense energy very well.
Okay.
Um, he's
Th-
cage trained.
what does that mean?
They only mess in their cages. They only go to the
Okay.
bathroom in their cages. I'd say half of them are. All of our ball pythons are easy to cage train. Uh, Tangle will pee on me if she's upset. Same thing with Spaghetti. They're some of them aren't housebroken yet. Yes, he's very affectionate. He
But
comes
you
up.
can cuddle with them, I think. It
Oh
looks
yeah,
like they would sit on the couch with you
yeah. They
and
watch.
I don't know,
Snakes
seem to be
can't
quite
see very
affectionate.
well
Oh, okay.
because they can only see shapes. Tangle is very. It's okay, Molly. Tangle is very visual. She will respond to hands moving, but TV watching, they're very good at. They can sense the heat from the TV and the
Okay.
light, so they like to sit on the couch and watch TV too. Do you want me to take her?
Well, I just thought you'd like to show them together because she's the regular one.
Wow.
This one's a lot bigger. This is a female
Okay.
Maple. Okay, come to the camera, Maple.
Okay.
Now, she is what they would look like in the wild, and they live in Africa, all
Okay.
over the place. Uh, Lewis is a lemon blast ball python.
I'm
So
sorry, a
he's
lemon blast? Is it
yes,
because of the color?
yeah.
Okay.
They're not very creative with their names, but they're very friendly with each other, as you can see.
That's a good question. That's a good question, though. Do all the snakes, because they are in the same household, do they get along quite well with each other, or not really?
Well, I find in my experiences, as long as everyone's calm, it's fine. Our snake Amber, that was the only time she ever bit me was when she was scared of Maple, our big girl here. Even though she's just a big dum dum, there's not really anything to be scared of. Or I'm
Oh,
gonna.
hello. Hi, Mama. Wow. And that was that Tangle again?
No, that's a Vitcher.
Is that
He's
your last
escaping.
one? Okay.
Yeah. Now
Beautiful.
they contrary to belief, they are not poisonous. Their snakes are considered venomous, which is venom has to be injected into your bloodstream or into an orifice, and poison has to be ingested through stomach or touch. Ball pythons aren't,
That is something I did not know.
and it's a last resort for them. They do not want to bite you. Like they really don't want to bite you.
When you say last resort, so that's where they would puff up and show a little
Mhm.
defense mechanism rather than bite. I see.
Oh yeah, they'll hiss. They're very vocal and they're very strong. The snake is all muscle,
Okay.
and they have a very big voice because of their muscle, and they have very big lungs. And some of them are fast. Not the case with ball pythons. They're extremely slow unless they want to be. And ball pythons are called ball pythons because if you scare them, they'll curl into a ball
Mm,
and protect their head because they really don't want to bite you. Venomous snakes want to preserve their venom for hunts, and constrictors like who kill their prey by wrapping around them and cutting off blood flow.
hmm
They they have very small teeth. Like it doesn't hurt very much. I haven't been bit by Maple. She's the strongest one, but I have been bit by our second biggest, Lewis, and
Okay.
that didn't even hurt very much. They have very tiny teeth, but they can get stuck in the skin and they don't want to lose them. They really don't mean no harm. It's just they just got a very bad rap. Yes.
Well, what I thought we could do is I actually went and found some pictures of some snakes in Morocco. And I figured if I share my screen, you could maybe tell me a little bit about the snakes that we see.
Sure thing.
All right, let's do it. All right, so what snake is this?
Well, it's a bit blurry, but I think that is an Egyptian cobra,
Okay.
which are very common in the area. They open their hood like that to try to defend themselves. I also find they do it when they're excited or nervous or just something has caught their eye.
Mm.
Um,
It looks like the snake charmer is playing like something like a flute. Would they respond to music or noise that way, or in your experience, do your snakes respond that way?
I don't know what it is quite about whistling, but they do seem to like it. They can't hear necessarily like we can. They have a layer of skin over where their ear holes would be,
Okay.
but their jaw has been modified to be able to feel vibration very well. So the certain frequency of whistling I find kind of like they like it. I use it to call them towards me sometimes if they're getting into trouble, but they don't have too large of a response to it other than turning their heads. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't exactly know
Okay.
why.
That's awesome. Well, this is another snake that I found. This is similar to your Lewis, is it not?
No, they're in completely different families in the snake tree. That is a
Oh,
viper,
oh, I see.
Viperidae.
That's why you're here, Snora. You gotta set me straight. So this one's a viper. Okay.
Yeah, they're very very dangerous, but and I find that they often roam around villages in Morocco, and I think they get killed. And some snake charmers though
So
they do
it
they do
is
this.
dangerous. I see. Okay.
They
You mentioned that if you work with the snake a lot, then it becomes a friend, and it won't necessarily attack you.
That
Um,
is true.
okay.
That's what happened with Tangle. She was so hard to tame. You had to work and I think it's taken about a year to calm her down. But as long as you have a connection and you are gentle with the snake, then and respect its wishes, then you can typically form a pretty good bond.
Okay. So the last snake we saw that I found was this one. And it was challenging for us to identify this particular snake, yes?
I still don't know exactly what it is. There's a few possibilities. It could be tree boa, a green tree boa, which are common. They're constrictors. They have very large fangs, but other than that, they're pretty good to handle. It could also be it's some sort of viper, tree viper, or it could be a boom slang, which I don't know how common they are in Morocco, which is
Hmm.
why I'm thinking that it could have been brought in from somewhere else. They
Okay.
can flatten their ribs out and make sort of like a boomerang. They can just fly through the air they don't come back at you like a boomerang, but they can soar through the air from tree to tree. They are venomous, but try to stay hidden.
Sarah, that's so interesting. Is there any other, like, is there a myth that you'd like to t say to someone, like me, who before I was quite afraid of snakes, but is there something, last words that you could say to sort of encourage me that snakes are, they're just like, pets?
Yes, I can. There are a lot of misconceptions out there. Um, Firstly, they do not want to attack you, and they are not trying to chase you. I hear that a lot. I hear like, will it? I wear them around my neck because it's a convenient mode of travel since they don't have anything to grab onto other than their body, and they they're not out to get you. They're not going to strangle you, and they're not going to try to bite you. They want to stay away from you if they're wild. They want to sleep together in hibernaculums if they're garter snakes. They want to stay away from you and just live their lives, kind of like socially anxious humans.
I am so impressed by you, Sarah.
Thank
I
you.
love anyone who has a passion and a willingness to share knowledge. And so I want to say thank you. We would say shukran. Shukran, thank you so much. Do you have plans? What would that be? Herpetology? Do you have plans to, what do you like to do with all this
Well,
knowledge?
I find that through science alone, you can't seem to portray enough. Because I mean, a lot of snake owners have been trying to stop the rapid flow of snake hate, and even in the media, still it's still presented. So I think that the best way I could probably share the knowledge is through art and
Okay.
media. So I would use herpetology as a backbone for my writing and art, but I would share it over the internet.
I wish you all the best. I'm your number one supporter over here. So
Thank
today
you.
we've had the pleasure of having an interview with Sarah, who I'm going to call my snake charmer, my local snake charmer. And I just want to say I thank you and I appreciate you for sharing your knowledge with me. And I actually feel much calmer now that I've spoken to you.
Good.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye, Sarah.
Bye.